The Republic of the Congo will be holding a presidential election scheduled for March 15th, 2026, not to be confused with the Democratic Republic of the Congo, its larger, more often discussed neighbor to the southeast. The Republic of Congo, also known as Congo-Brazzaville, is a Central African nation of roughly 6.6 million people. For this election, I'll start with the challengers, leaving discussion of the incumbent Dennis Sassou Nguesso for the end. So who is running against him? Well, an honorary mention. I should mention the Pan-African Union of Social Democracy, or UPADS, which is the main opposition party. UPADS ruled the country for a brief stint from August 1992 under the leadership of Pascal Lissouba, during that time having just narrowly won that nation's first multi-party elections following a period of one-party rule. UPADS prioritized continuing democratic reforms and economic liberalization, but unfortunately, no party was able to form a majority in Parliament in 1992, so in order to form a government, another election was held in 1993 to break the deadlock, which allowed UPADS to form a tenuous, shifting government with multiple smaller parties. These elections were heavily contested, however, leading to a loss of confidence in the fledgling democratic system and the formation of political militias and spread of political violence, which ultimately led to a brief civil war in 1997, wherein Nguesso eventually ousted the UPADS government, returning power to the Congolese Labour Party, with himself as president of a transitional government until new elections were held in 2002. So, although a worthy mention, there is no UPADS candidate in 2026, they chose not to participate in this election, boycotting it as they did the last election in 2021. Now, let's go over the 7 official candidates in no particular order, with the incumbent last. First, Anjoua Ngangwa Ngabe, founder of the Party for the Action of the Republic. This is his 4th time running. His candidacy is focused generally on anti-establishment messaging, forming a national unity, and reforming the political system. Next, we can look at Joseph Kingnuba Kia Mbongo with La Shine. That's a party that's focused on economic reform, reducing state spending to form a leaner state, political reform, and trying to diversify the economy beyond oil, which is the Republic of Congo's primary export, and large portion of their national budget income comes from oil industries. Next, we can look at Mabio Mavunga Zinga, the Alliance. His candidacy is focused on fighting corruption, more political transparency and dialogue, and improving the standard of living. In the Congo, there's a large youth unemployment and wealth stratification. Fourth, we have Vivian Romain Manangu, no party affiliation. His candidacy, again, generally is focused on institutional reform, government spending reform, and more national unity. He's a law professor by trade. Ufrem Dave Mafula with Les Souverainistes. He is an economist. This is his 2nd time running. Earlier in his 1st time running, his whole appearance was as kind of this young reformer coming in, and his shtick is kind of sovereigntist politics, he calls it. And so there's the 4 sovereignties. There's economic sovereignty, which is diversifying away from oil and strengthening domestic industry. There's fiscal sovereignty, which is controlling public debt and reducing corruption in the government. Third, there's institutional sovereignty, so primarily an independent judiciary, strengthening the Constitution, and more accountability for the executive. And civic sovereignty, so that's election reform, more democratic participation for the people, and guaranteeing civil liberties. Milaine Destine Gave Elongo with the Republican movement. He's an engineer by education and a geologist by trade. He's focused on more transparent governance, an independent judiciary, and expanding economic opportunities, shifting focus to the broader population from the elite. So I'm sure now you've detected a common theme with all of these candidates: reform, distribution of power away from the executive, maybe to other branches, transparency from the government, addressing economic inequality, and primarily creating an environment wherein others can run the country and getting away from one party rule. Let's talk about the incumbent. Well, Dennis Sassou Nguesso is running for the fifth five-year term as president. His first stint as the executive of the country began actually in 1979, when at the time the Republic of Congo was a one-party Marxist-Leninist state. The apparatus of the Congolese Labour Party ousted then President Joachim Yombi Opongo and then elected Nguesso, who was at the time a colonel in the army, and they elected him as general secretary of the party and as president of the country. And he maintained support to be re-elected by the Congolese Labour Party during the third and fourth ordinary congresses in 1984 and 1989 respectively. Then in 1991, Sassou Nguesso initiated the transition to multi-party politics. This in response to domestic problems and also in response just to the developments in the international situation, including the ongoing collapse of the USSR and international pressure, as despite ostensibly being a Marxist-Leninist state, primarily international investment in the oil industry and industry in general came from the West, chiefly France, and not the Soviet Union. So after opening up national politics to other political parties, he lost the first multi-party election in 1992 to UPADS. After returning to power in 1997, following a period of tumultuous political infighting, culminating in a civil war, which lasted less than a year, he won elections in 2002, 2009, 2016, and 2021, and now he seeks re-election again in 2026. This time around, his platform is centered around continued economic development, maintaining stability and kind of emphasizing his role as a stabilizing figure in uncertain times, and continuing infrastructure development projects in the country. He is now 82 years old, so there is explicit discussion that succession planning and leadership development within the party and government will be a priority. So many observers believe that this is a shoo-in for Nguesso, but what do I think? The answer may surprise you. I think 5 more years for Sassou Nguesso. I think given election results for the last 4 elections, I believe this will be an easy dub for him. But who would you like to win the Congo presidency? Who do you think will win? And are there any future elections you'd like to see covered? Let me know in the comments.